ERP, or expose and response prevention, is the gold standard for treating obsessive compulsive disorder and other anxiety disorder. Now, I've looked all around the internet and I never seem to find a good video on what and how to correctly do expose and response prevention. If you're in OCD therapy, you understand that ERP is the simple and best thing that you can do for your clients and for yourself to overcome the disorder. I'm looking here because of my notes, but yeah, let's get right into it. So, to put it plainly, expose and response prevention, or ERP, is when you expose yourself to the thing you fear most and avoid doing the compulsions and ruminations that come after you expose yourself. To put it bluntly, obsessive compulsive disorder is when you start haggling with your mind. You start fighting what your mind is telling you, and those things you fight with are called compulsions. I'll use an example here about OCD. Let's say your OCD is around hygiene, right? Let's say you hate being dirty. So every time you get dirt on your hands, you go and you clean. The compulsion in that thing is cleaning. What prompts you to clean is your mind telling you, "Oh my God, you're gonna die from the lack of hygiene," whatever it may be. That's where OCD lives. So OCD lives in the compulsion, the action of doing something based off your fear. And simply doing expose and response prevention, a person in that situation who, let's say, fears getting sick, or, by the way, I'm not a therapist, gets sick, they simply, let's say, they put dirt on their hands and they sit there no matter what, no matter how high the anxiety is, they let it go and they sit there. They put their hands, let's say, in dirt, and they say, "I'm not going to wash my hands." And for them, that's a very highly anxiety-provoking, a highly anxiety-provoking situation. For you, it could be a sexual situation. It could be whatever, maybe relationships. You know what your fear is. You simply face that fear and you do nothing about it. Because what OCD wants you to do is to do something about it. It wants you to act on something. It wants you to act to let's say, to avoid bad luck, to avoid dying, to avoid losing your loved one, whatever it is. But simply not doing anything, again, there's the thought, then the action. That's OCD. You get a thought and you do something to fight that thought, right? ERP puts a block in the middle and tells you to have that thought, do the action, but not to do the compulsion at the end. And by simply eliminating that and exposing your mind to that, you're going to get anxious at first, but by simply doing nothing, your mind gets used to it. Your mind gets used to the anxiety. It gets used to the situation. And what happens is that once you expose yourself to the thing multiple times, what you see happening is that you don't fear that thing anymore. You're not scared of that thing anymore. It's a weird thing to happen, but that in its core is ERP, expose and response prevention. I'm going to say it again, but this is the gold standard of ending your OCD for good. It's going to lower it. The studies have shown it works. It may not at first, but you continuously do it, it's going to help. Again, OCD lives in rumination and compulsion. When you do the action, you guys have OCD, you understand this, but when you have the thoughts and when you, let's say, do the exposure of, let's say, looking at someone get dirty, or you get dirty yourself, you're going to get scared. You're going to get anxious. But this time, you're not going to do anything about it. You're not going to do anything about it. And not doing anything about it counteracts your OCD tendencies to actually do the action. I can't stress how important this is. Yet this will be the hardest thing that you're ever gonna do. Again, I'm gonna say this again. This will be the hardest thing you'll ever do. I have started businesses. I have finished university. I have done some of the hardest tests I have ever done. Expose and response prevention and overcoming OCD will be the hardest challenge you'll ever do. And if you can do this, you can overcome anything. Okay? Simply sit there, face your fear, and don't run away. Face that fear, face that monster. It's gonna go. Simply like that. The anxiety and the fears and the OCD will run away because you stood up. I read a book called Overcoming Your Intrusive Thoughts, I think it's called. And what they said is, in doing ERP, you're simply ignoring the bully. If you think back to when you were in primary school or in high school, if there was a bully and you tried to confront him, he typically tried to hit you, pick on you, whatever it may be. Think of the bully as OCD. You don't want to attack it. You don't want to confront it in a way that makes it want to give you attention. By doing ERP, you're simply ignoring the OCD. And when you ignore the bully, it can't bother you anymore. It can't bother you because you've let it go. You don't care about it. And that's what ERP teaches you to do. It teaches you to ignore the bully. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't ask for likes. I don't ask for subscriptions. I don't ask for comments. But if you found value, and I really hope at least one person found value in this video, please let me know. Because I feel good because I was in that position like you. And if it did help you whatsoever, please let me know. All right? Have a great rest of your day, night, whatever it may be.